Hey guys, welcome to Outlaw Edge. So this video is for Jack Collins. I'm doing this video because he was asking on one of my videos, he was asking, what do I use for tape? And he was saying he doesn't get that good of a job when he tapes off something when he's painting on some of his projects or whatever. So I'm gonna just do a quick video for Jack Collins and make sure he knows what I do, because the reason I started my whole YouTube channel was so I could try to help people out and show them the kind of work that I do. Just painted this demon in the background, and I'm just finishing buffing it out and all that. And sorry about that. Got a shaky camera going on here. But one of the jobs that I just finished today, and it's actually not even finished, I gotta do the red on it, and that's this Evel Knievel tank. I'm doing an Evel Knievel tribute bike. And you can see the stars are nice and crisp and clean, and all the lines are nice and crisp. And the reason they're like that is I'm gonna show you what kind of tape I use. And I'm gonna run my shaky camera over here if you guys don't mind. That way I can show you what kind of tape and stuff I use. But anyways, Jack, when I'm doing shapes and stencils and all that kind of stuff, I got a friend of mine, and what I do is I go to TNT Design, and this is a little plug for them, because they take and make my stencils for me. And like, for instance, I'm doing this Evel Knievel bike, and you can see the stars that I have right here. They're nice and crisp and clean. And I'll get a close up so you can see what they look like. And then, and what they did is they printed me out a whole sheet of stars. And all you do is take them stars, peel them off, and this is a vinyl. So this stuff, it peels off that quick. You stick it on, paint over it, and you just take a razor blade and peel up that edge. After you get the paint color that you want over the top of it. And then, for instance, I painted this stuff white. You can see right here next to me. I painted it white, and then I put these stars all over it. And then I painted it blue, and then I peeled the stars back off. And these vinyl stickers like this are like, you can reuse them. Just use them over and over if you need to. But after you paint over them, it's kind of hard sometimes to get them off. So what I do is I have them print me out a whole bunch of them. And like, this is an Evel Knievel bike, so of course it's gonna have stars all over it. So I just had them do me a whole sheet of stars. And then one of the other things that I do is I use pinstripe, or not pinstriping tape, I'm sorry, but 3M fine line tape. And this is the brand that I use and the sizes that I use. And this one here is 1/4 inch, and then this one here is 1/8 inch. And that's made by 3M. This stuff is 30 bucks a roll. But if you want some fine lines, you use this tape, it's amazing. You can do flames, graphics, all kinds of stuff with this stuff. And a lot of people I've seen in the past, I've seen people stretch it out and they go to tape something, and then what they do is they take their finger and they just break it off like that. But that's not what I do. When I'm using this fine line tape, well, I had a razor blade here. But anyways, sorry about that. And what you do is you poke through the center of it like this. Poke through the center of it when you want a nice clean line. Man, I got some crappy camera work going on. And then when the stuff busts off, when you want a nice finished edge on something, you can run that other piece of tape right up to it, and you won't have no bleed through with the paint. And when you're doing automotive paint, I highly recommend, do not use a cheap paint. I don't care for single stage. I only use base coat clear coat. And if you don't know what base coat clear coat is, they have PPG, they have Deltron, you have Chroma Base, and all these other fancy automotive paints. I could care less about any of those. The only two that I like to use is House of Colors when I'm doing something really fancy. And the other one that I like to do is Chroma Base, and that's when I'm doing like a show paint job. And when I'm done, this will be a show paint job on this Evel Knievel bike. This will be a beautiful, beautiful paint job. And then what I do is I'll put the base coat down, and I'll put my stencils on there. If I'm doing any stencils, or any tape work, and I'll use that fine line tape that I was showing you, like this stuff, and I'll do all my graphics, and then I'll back spray it with another color, and then I'll peel all that tape off and all those templates, and I'll peel those off, and then I'll put my clear coat over the top of that, so it's a base coat clear coat. And then what I do after it's clear coated and it sits for 2 days, I'll wet sand it with 2,000, 2,500, or 3,000 grit paper. I'll wet sand the whole thing, everything, and then I'll wipe it down really good with a wax and grease remover, and then I respray it with clear coat, about 4 or 5 coats of clear. That turns it into a show paint job. Then what you do is you want to wet sand it 2 days later. You want to wet sand it with 2,500, 2,000, or 3,000 grit paper. Again, wet dry paper, wet dry. And I have some of that stuff right here, and I'll show you what it is. And this is the paper, this is the brand that I use. It's Unigrit by Mirglaze, Meguiar's. And it's the stuff is so fine that it doesn't even feel like sandpaper. It just feels like regular paper. But then after you re-clear it and let it dry, and you wet sand it again with this wet dry paper, you buff it out, and it's like a mirror. The stuff is just phenomenal. It looks amazing. And you'll get a really badass paint job on something. But if you're gonna be using some tapes for doing fine line and real crisp lines, I highly recommend this stuff right here, this 3M. And then if you're gonna get the yellow tape, like at hardware stores and whatever, and Walmart and stuff, I would take this crap right here and I'd throw it straight in the garbage can. I've used this yellow in like 4 or 5 different brands. It's junk. And that's just my opinion. You put the stuff on and you do it like a nice clean line and whatever. And what'll happen is you'll get it taped and you'll get ready to start spraying your other colors and stuff. And this stuff will be like laying on the side of the tanks or the fenders or the hood or whatever you're painting. It doesn't stick. And then what happens is if you do get it to stick and you paint over the top of it, you can't get the stuff off. So this stuff will bite you in the ass. Don't use the yellow on automotive. Now, if you're in a house or something, you can use it for like house painting or whatever, but that's a whole different deal. One of the other things that I do use is this is a type of vinyl tape that they use when they're doing stucco. It's I believe they call it stucco tape, or there's another name for stucco. I can't think of it right now. But when they're doing the stucco, and this is the stuff that they use to run the plastic up and down the walls on the houses when they're doing the stucco. And this stuff is pretty pricey. It's about $8 a roll. And this stuff is phenomenal. If you want a nice, crisp, clean line, and you're doing something where you want to run a long line and you need something wide, this is what I'd go with right here. The other brands of tape that I use is 3M. And this is your 3M blue right here, and I'm pretty sure you can see the 3M tag right there inside. and the other brand that I use that is one of my favorite, and I pick it up at Walmart or Menards, and that's Duck, and it's called Clean Release. And this stuff is awesome. This is really good. I mean, that's my favorite tape right there. And what I do is I'll take the fine line tape from 3M, and I'll run a line so I get my nice, crisp, clean line, and then I'll take this stuff and I'll go right over the top of it and back it up and run it right on the edge of it and get a nice, crisp, clean line that way. But anyways, I hope I helped you out, bro. If you have any more questions, let me know. I'll make you another video. I got no problem doing that. I have no life, so YouTube is my life. But I really appreciate you, the nice comments. That was nice that you left a comment, and I got no problem helping you out any way I can. So if you got any more questions or whatever, just let me know. And then if you want to have any questions about buffing out paint or any of that kind of stuff, and you can see the what I'm talking about. This is wet sanded with 3,000 grit paper and then buffed out, and that's a base coat clear coat also. But anyways, thanks a lot for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and thanks a lot for watching, bro. Later.